Stunfisk in the back, and this is why we are running the green monster. Virizion loves to see this thing because look at that, Earthquake does nothing, Rock Slide does even less. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, and if you're a returning subscriber like Daniel Lamb, thank you for the support. In today's video, we're taking a look at some battles in the Ultra Remix Cup, and they may as well have named this cup Ultra League XL because that's basically what it is. Triple XL teams everywhere. The team being featured in this video is all non-XL Pokemon, however, two of them are legendaries, so it is still somewhat expensive, but definitely a lot more accessible than the XL Pokemon that require, say, level 50, for example. So the team being featured today is a little bit on the spicy side. We got Articuno in the lead, is going to benefit from no Melmetal and Talonflame. Galarian, Stunfisk, Alolan Ninetales, Registeel, all still going to be big threats to that in the lead spot. We got Snorlax, one of the most popular budget picks for Ultra League, especially if you evolve it from a Munchlax, only 10k for the second move. And then Virizion in the back. This is the Pokemon I want to showcase for this video. You look at its typing, it is going to have a lot of weaknesses, in particular the flying types, the fire types, the charmers, the confusion artists. There is a lot of weaknesses, but at the same time, it has a lot of positive matchups against a lot of the core meta. Galarian, Stunfisk in particular gets walled by Virizion. Umbreon, Scrafty, Jellicent could beat that too. There are a lot of solid matchups here, so I think Virizion is somewhat of a core breaker here and definitely a underrated pick for this meta. On top of that, there's no Giratina, which is one of the biggest threats to this Pokemon in Open Ultra League, so if there's a time to run it, it is right now. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button and let this channel grow. Leave a comment in the comments section down below, and without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. So I did want to give a very big thank you to everybody for helping me reach 10,000 subscribers. That is a milestone I never dreamed of reaching, so thank you so much. We'll have a dedicated video about that in the coming week or so, perhaps even with a giveaway, so stay tuned for that. Let's hop into the battle right here. We got Articuno into Pidgeot, very positive lead. Opponent swaps onto Deoxys. Defense Deoxys, as you can see, is a very big issue for this team, so I want to throw the Icy Wind before swapping out into Snorlax. Very nice that the opponent did let that damage go through because now the matchup becomes a lot more manageable for Snorlax. Right here you can see these licks are adding up, and because the opponent has been debuffed, the Thunderbolt, Psycho Boost, they aren't going to be doing as much to Snorlax. So going to take another move right here. Hopefully we don't have to burn any shields at this point because we definitely like to save them. You can see we take the Thunderbolt very well. Going to go for the Body Slam, and we'll potentially get farmed down here by the Pidgeot, which is never good news, but we should be able to get to a move still. So we're going to try and get to a superpower right here and land that on the Pidgeot, but a Pidgeot with an energy lead is never good. Thankfully, Articuno has a pretty solid matchup there, but Brave Bird will still hurt quite a bit. Virizion, you definitely want to keep that away from Pidgeot at all costs, so winning switch there was very important. Pidgeot going to come in. Could be a Brave Bird, gonna decide to shield. We could have definitely let that one go through because I don't think Brave Bird would KO, but it was our first game. And look at this, Stunfisk in the back, and this is why we are running the green monster. Virizion loves to see this thing because look at that, Earthquake does nothing, Rock Slide does even less. Virizion, an absolute beast. Leaf Blade is going to hurt. It's not going to KO, but close combat, actually close combat doesn't KO either. You need to land that. It does about maybe 50-60%. Actually, you should look at the numbers, but in this matchup, it's so dominant that I believe you can actually win just going straight Leaf Blade as well. You can see the damage is adding up, but we already got these shields from the opponent. Going for a Leaf Blade right here. I don't want to leave too much health on this Virizion for the Pidgeot to farm us down. That's the main issue at this point. So going to look to throw the close combat right here. We don't have too much health left on the Virizion. Our switch timer should be up at this point, which it is, so I swap back out into the Articuno. Opponent doesn't want the smoke, so they back out of that match. We're off to a 1-0 start here in the Ultra League Remix. Let's hop into the next battle. And I did finally get my ELO as well for the season. Cofagrigus, which is insane. Can't believe we're seeing an XL Cofagrigus right here. That is, I would say spicy, but it's not even spicy. It's actually extremely meta in this cup, so it's a very strong pick right there. Gonna show up the Shadow Ball and gonna land this Icy Wind right here. Now, not a good Pokemon to see for this team, of course. I would like to align it with the Snorlax if possible. And they bring in Stunfisk. You know what that means, Virizion. It doesn't care if it's Unova, doesn't care if it's Galarian. It is going to destroy. So we catch a very nice break there. Because at this point, if we win switch advantage here, which obviously we should with this dominance of a matchup, you can see, look at that damage doing nothing. we will be able to align the Snorlax. And I started lagging here, and then I noticed the opponent was throwing while I wasn't, so turned off my Wi-Fi. This is not some sort of exploit, okay? Want to make that clear. I turned off the Wi-Fi. You can pause the video. I turned the Wi-Fi off. I'm not trying to run any sort of exploits there. So Leaf Blade coming through. Opponent shielded, which was a little bit interesting right here. I guess they were very desperate to maintain switch, but it's not really going to work out right there. They come in with Escavalier, which Virizion has a decent match. Mega Horn, of course, would be a bit problematic. I mean, Acid Spray, even Aerial Ace, there's a lot of issues, but it's not too bad. I swap out into the Articuno right here, throw the Icy Wind. Because they swapped out, we could pretty much align the Snorlax onto the Cofagrigus at this point, which is basically what we want. The Acid Spray comes through, but we're able to farm down. The Stunfisk will probably come back in. I'm going to throw this Icy Wind right here. And don't expect a shield, but they actually do. So they spent both shields on their Stunfisk just to get rid of this Articuno. And yes, the Articuno is gone, but now we could come in here with the Virizion. They swap out to Cofagrigus, and here comes the Snorlax, and this is almost pretty much a wall. I mean, Dark Pulse Psychic is possible, so you can see it doesn't do too much to the Snorlax. Still, we could pretty much lick down at this point, have a move ready to throw at the Stunfisk and take this game. Dark Pulse coming through, very tanky Snorlax right there, farms it down, and once again the opponent doesn't want the smoke. We're off to a 2-0 start here in the Ultra League Remix Cup. Let's hop into the next battle. And of course, fire types are going to be an issue for this team. Thankfully, Talonflame is banned, so the main threat is probably like Charizard or Typhlosion, which aren't too common, although Typhlosion is a little bit. These Pokemon right here, XL Pidgeot, XL Nidoqueen, very, very common. And Nidoqueen coming into Articuno here, we basically have to stay in this match. We do, of course, have, well, actually, no, we don't. They have Pidgeot, so this is actually a really tough spot because we need to swap out at some point. So yeah, we throw the Icy in there and then come with the Snorlax. Snorlax should be able to take care of the Nidoqueen here. We have to swap out because we have no other answer for the Pidgeot on this team. And we need to maintain switch here as well, so this is a little bit problematic. I'm going to throw the Body Slam right here, which should be enough to KO the Nidoqueen. And it does. So Nidoqueen goes down, Pidgeot comes back in, which makes sense. So we're going to go for the Superpower. Could have probably built up a bit more, but I wanted to make sure I got off some damage here. And I also want to lower my defense so that the opponent can't farm as much as they probably would. So another Superpower coming through here. I'm hoping after this Superpower that Gust will actually take us out. I don't want this Pidgeot to be absolutely loaded. And they get a lot of energy there, so not looking too good. We're going to come with Articuno here. At this point, Articuno's kind of low, so I figured I'd probably shield here. Yeah, we do. It's another Feather Dance bait, so a little bit unfortunate. Typhlosion in the back, was not expecting that, and that is basically GG. So in this scenario, I don't want the smoke. I hop on out of there. We are 2-1 in set number 1. Let's hop into the next battle. Yeah, Typhlosion's going to be an issue, of course. Snorlax is the best answer, and even that's not a great answer there for the Typhlosion. So horrible lead right here. Articuno into Galvantula. Usually look to sneak in the extra Ice Shard right here, which we are able to do. So I'm going to call the Discharge at this point. We do shield it up, and thankfully it is the Discharge. So that's very good news for us. We do deny the extra Volt Switch. Going to go for the Icy Wind right here, and a shield as well. So at this point, because we did throw the Icy Wind, we should be able to survive this next Discharge, which means we will be able to throw this Icy Wind. I could have probably went for the Ancient Power. I believe Ancient Power actually does more damage here. I can't remember. I haven't done this simulation in so long, but maybe wouldn't have KO'd. Came with Snorlax trying to farm down. They come in with Scrafty, which is very good. So looking like hard counter city right now. The Galvantula on the Articuno, the Scrafty on the Snorlax. Of course, we do have Superpower here, which isn't going to threaten to KO, but we'll do some nice damage. Opponent's going to throw the Pup right here, and we survive that. Should be able to get the 2 Superpowers. I believe we're like 1 short right now, 1 lick short. So they get the shield right there. Very nice played. And we'll get the second Superpower, which isn't going to do as much now since we are debuffed. Still does a decent chunk. And now Virizion, of course, has a very strong matchup here against the Scrafty. So I'm going to go for the Leaf Blade. This isn't going to knock out the Scrafty. It is a nice move. And of course, a lot of people complain about Virizion's viability because of the Quick Attack as the fast move. Quick Attack isn't the worst move. Of course, it could be a lot better. I guess the main issue is that it doesn't do as much damage as some of the other 2-turn fast moves, but it generates energy pretty well. And right here, the opponent, I knew they were going to try and swap out into the Galvantula to catch a move right here, so I did not throw, held off on the energy. And as you see, Stunfisk in the back, so they bring the Stunfisk, swap it immediately into Galvantula, try to catch a move. Didn't fall for it that time. Gonna land these close combats. Bang! There it is. Stunfisk getting the absolute work in this video. We're off to a 3-1 start here for the Remix Cup with this relatively spicy team. Hopping into the next battle right here. We got Articuno into a Nidoqueen, so another beautiful lead right here. Articuno could pretty much only lose this, I believe, if the opponent sneaks in a lot of poison jabs or if you start lagging. So Umbreon comes in here, try to catch the foul play. I figured I couldn't get to the Icy Wind at the same time without it being CMP, so I wanted to bank that instead, catch the foul play on the Virizion and come in here against the Umbreon. Now in this scenario, Virizion could actually win this game just going straight Leaf Blade, as long as the Umbreon is not running Psychic. If the Umbreon is running Psychic, it becomes a little bit more difficult. You probably have to waste a shield or go for the close combat. So it's a bit of a trickier match, but since they're running Foul Play plus Last Resort, you don't even need to go close combat. Just need to go straight Leaf Blade. Don't need to debuff yourself and you will take this game. So going close combat, of course, is going to do about 50% to the Umbreon, I believe. And might work out in this favor since there's less farm after for the Nidoqueen, but in this case, at least we got off a Leaf Blade here, which is very nice. We'll get farmed down, but then we'll be able to come back in with the Articuno. And that chip damage right there is very nice. Opponent swaps out into a Jellicent, so here comes the Snorlax, and at this time, pretty much hard counter city for the opponent at this point. We take that game 4-1 in the first set with this team. I was very happy with the results, so you know we're going to go for a set number 2 and see if the luck continues. So hopping into the second set of battles, we got Philip Brown here in match number 1, leading the Articuno into a Granbull, and Granbull is a Shadow right here. So I know a lot of people don't like the Charmers, but whenever I see a Shadow Granbull, I can't help but smile at. It's pretty spicy. I mean, if you're gonna run a Charmer, that's a pretty cool one to run, right? So opponent swaps out into the Jellicent, and actually I do enjoy getting off that Icy Wind right there, because we're gonna swap out into the Snorlax. And this is a great matchup for Snorlax, of course, even with Body Slam and Superpower, but because the opponent has Ice Beam, it's even better that we did get off that Ice Wind first, because now it's going to make this matchup even more dominant for Snorlax than it already was. So Ice Beam coming through, they are spamming these moves right here. Hex is not doing anything. We're going to be going for the Body Slam, which is also not going to be doing anything. But we kind of need to throw them because we can't completely farm down here, and the Ice Beams are adding up. So as you can see, without that Icy Wind debuff, we'd have to throw a lot more Body Slams right here. Gonna throw this right here, should be enough to take out the Jellicent, and we should have another one ready to go against this Granbull. So thankfully, we're actually able to get to this Deny the Charm, which means we should be able to throw 2 Body Slams here at the Granbull. Let the first one go through, and it looks like they're gonna have to shield right here or let the Granbull go down. And we start seeing what I thought was lag at the time. It could have been that the opponent disconnected as well, or they just didn't want any more of this smoke. So we're gonna wait and see what they have in the back. It is a Galarian Stunfisk, so I come in with the Articuno, going to debuff this thing, and basically at this point, the opponent's not here anymore. They left the match, they didn't want the smoke. Virizion being denied its moment to shine right here. So we're just gonna take out the opponent in this XL Ultra League Cup. Yeah, the XLs, I mean, the only thing I dislike about the XL Pokemon is that it makes it very difficult for new players to partake in cups like this, right? And I think the longevity of this game is very dependent on bringing new players into the game, even if they're casual. You know, those are often what keeps a game running, bringing in new people to play and stuff. And it's very hard to do that when there's cups like this where Pokemon are so inaccessible, a lot of barriers to entry and whatnot. So it is what it is, but I wish Niantic would change, at least make the XL obtainable to players under level 40 or something. It's kind of ridiculous they need to be level 40 in my opinion, but that's the way Niantic has it. We got Articuno into Deoxys right here. Deoxys is horrible for this team, so I throw the Icy Wind, swap out into the Snorlax here, hoping to catch the debuff Thunderbolt, which we do, and the opponent comes with Scrafty. So we saw this one time already. It's a very hard match to come back from. And Power Up Punch coming through. Gonna get off a Superpower. It's not going to KO, as you're going to see right here. It does like about 45% maybe. Not able to get to the Body Slam, which is a little bit unfortunate. Maybe could have got a shield there if we were able to. And Virizion comes in. So Virizion has a very good match against Scrafty, but not when a Scrafty has this big of an energy lead. And you're gonna see these pups are gonna start adding up. Obviously Foul Play would do nothing, but pup and these counters are really starting to add up. So I go for the Leaf Blade right here. At this point, the opponent has seen all 3 of our Pokemon, so they're shielding. They must have a strategy in mind. So when they actually double shield here, I was totally caught off guard. I was wondering, what the heck are they afraid of? So actually decide to shield the Virizion thing. They might have a Stunfisk in the back. So I come in with the Articuno right here. And we're going to take a Pup right here couldn't be a foul play, so Pup comes through, we're able to farm down, and the opponent comes back in with Deoxys. Now unfortunately for us, this isn't going to be enough to take it out, of course, and we're a long way away from taking this thing out. So get to another Icy Wind. Again, it's not going to be enough to take out the Deoxys right here. I'm just praying at this point that they have a Galarian Stunfisk in the back, maybe come in with the Virizion, farm down the Deoxys, build up to 2 close combats with a shield, and win this game. And that, of course, is not a Galarian Stunfisk. That is a Mandibuzz. So I don't think the opponent needed to shield there, but I guess their main concern was that if the Articuno got off 2 shields, maybe they could take out the Deoxys plus the Mandibuzz. Definitely would be a tall task, and I highly doubt it would happen, but the opponent definitely threw me off with the shield there, so very well played on their part, and they took that game. Articuno into a Escavalier right here. Pretty favorable lead for Articuno, just need to shield once generally, shield up the Mega Horn, and you're good to go. And often players aren't running Acid Spray, so yeah, shielding the Acid Spray kind of sucks, and in this case, that is what we do. So I was in fear that it didn't seem like a Mega Horn, but if it's going to knock us out, it's only another Acid Spray. So that tells me they're probably running Acid Spray plus Drill Run, which is a moveset that I also like myself. And we swap out into Virizion at this point. And I was hoping this Leaf Blade would actually take out the Escavalier. That would put us in a pretty decent position right here. But as you can see, they survive, which is not good. And they're going to have to move right here. If it's Drill Run, it doesn't matter. If it's Acid Spray, it's not going to do too much, but our defense will be lower. We're able to farm down here. We're down a shield though, which is not good. They come with Pidgeot. This is not what you want to see with your Virizion right here. Going to go for the close combat. Could also learn Stone Edge. Don't think Stone Edge would KO though, but that would be pretty interesting. And Articuno comes back in here. I mean, at this point, we have to call the bait. I think that's the only win condition is the Brave Bird. It makes sense for them to go to Brave Bird right there. It's very well played on their part, but they have a Nidoqueen in the back. I think, as you can see, we had no chance to win this. I don't want the smoke, so I back out. We needed to call the bait there to have any chance to win that game. So we're 1-2 in this second set, so the team is starting to look like it should. Very, very weak. And we got Articuno into a Shadow Electivire here. Gonna swap out into the Snorlax. Obviously, a very tough lead for Articuno. And could be a Wild Charge. The worst thing to happen is shielding a Wild Charge and then they come in with a fighter. That would absolutely suck. But I figured if they did have a fighter, probably would have saved that energy and just came immediately in with it. So they come in Venusaur, which tells me they do not have a fighter. And this isn't too bad because we could get off some damage here. But I was thinking, do I want to put it that low or come in with the Articuno, farm it down after? I was kind of debating, but I decided to just go for the 2 body slams here. And I figured if they let this go, maybe I could actually take Switch. And they did let it go. So was debating shielding here, but they actually didn't get to a move, which is even better because now we save the shield. Don't put ourselves at that test. Virizion onto the Electivire is a lot better, of course, but it still does have access to Ice Punch, which will be doing super effective to Virizion. So going to swap out into Virizion right here. I'm hoping they bring in the Electivire at this point because Leaf Blade does hurt the Gyarados, so they do come in with the Electivire. And Leaf Blade's going to hurt Electivire too, to be honest, because it is super glassy and it is a Shadow. At this point, I need to get to another Leaf Blade after this second shield comes up here, and what I'm asking myself is, will I be able to outpace Electivire to 3 Ice Punches? Because we'll let the first one go through, we're going to shield up the second one. As you can see, we tank 1 Ice Punch, and then it's a question, will we outpace it to the third? And thankfully for us, we are able to outpace here, but will this Leaf Blade be enough to take it out? Yes, it is, so that's very nice. Gonna swap out into Articuno right now. And as you guys know from many of my Ultra League videos, Articuno loves to see Gyarados. Aqua Tail coming through, not doing anything. They're gonna go for a move. They pretty much need like a Hydro Pump at this point, I think, to win the game. Crunch comes through, not doing anything. And the opponent denies me the opportunity to get off my move. Doesn't want the smoke, but we take that game. 2-2 heading into match number 5, the final battle of the video. Can we salvage the 3-2? A little bit of lag at the start, but doesn't affect the gameplay, just the timer. Articuno into Kingdra right here. This is a somewhat, it's favorable for Articuno, but if the Kingdra lands Outrage, it could be a bit problematic. The opponent swaps out into Sylveon. I don't have a great answer for Sylveon here. Now at this point, I'm hoping it's not a double charm team, of course, because Virizion will not like that. So I throw the Icy one here. I'm going to swap out into the Snorlax. Love to see them let that go through. At this point, I'm going to throw 1 Body Slam and then commit to the farm down here. So we'll be loaded on energy with the Snorlax, which is very nice. And then they'll come back in with likely the Kingdra, I assume. So Moonblast comes through. We're going to farm down completely here. They shouldn't reach another move. We're pretty loaded on energy at this point. Kingdra will likely come. No, they come in with a Escavalier. So I was throwing this blindly, to be honest. I should have probably waited a little bit and then probably went for the superpower. But fortunately for us, we are actually going to get to a second body slam, so not too bad, could be a lot worse. We'll definitely take this chip damage right here and get farmed down. And at this point, I was debating, do I want to come in with the Articuno or the Virizion? So I come in with Articuno, actually saving the Virizion for the Kingdra. I figured that was a winnable matchup still for it with the Leaf Blade. Octazooka comes through, I let that go through, come back in with the Virizion right here. One Leaf Blade should be enough to KO in this range. Depends if they're going to shield here. The Escavalier does have a bit of an energy lead, but it is also very low. So at this point, this game basically comes down to two things. One, can I get to 3 Leaf Blades? 2, do they have Acid Spray? When they go for Drill Run here, it looks like they do not. And at this point, their win con kind of becomes landing a Mega Horn if they do not have Acid Spray. So I decided to call it right here. They go for the Drill Run bait, and at this point, we should be good to go. They have to commit to the farm down. They cannot outpace us at this point. The question is, can we get to 3 Leaf Blades before they farm us down with counter? Denying the fast move is very important at this point. We get the Leaf Blade through. Can we get to the third one to take out this Escavalier? Salvage the 3-2. Yes, we can. Virizion doing the big boy work in this video. Bang! There it is. We take that game. Virision's actually a girl. At least in the movie it is. I don't know. So I do get a lot of comments asking about the pronunciation of Virizion. I like to say Virizion because that's the way I heard it in the Swords of Justice movie, in which Virizion was actually a female as well. So Virizion is the way I go. But you guys saw it in this video. Virizion is an absolute beast. It has some very solid matchups against some of the core meta picks, Galarian, Stunfisk in particular. It's gonna get destroyed by the Charmers as well as the Fire types, but if you could avoid that stuff, and also Flying's pretty bad for it too. But if you could avoid those things, it has a lot of play in this meta. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.